Hi Vinyl Community, it's Mike here, and today's video is a competition entry, and the competition has been set by Gordon of I Dig Vinyl, and Gordon's up in Scotland, and he's pushing towards the landmark of 500 subs, and he wants us to help him get there by entering his competition. And I'm sure that by the time I've uploaded this video, he'll probably be at 500 anyway, but you know, the more subs he gets, the better, really, isn't it? So what he wants us to do is to organise our own music festival, and the festival can be, you know, any acts you like, any bands, any singers, anybody you like, from any era. You can mix it all up, and just your absolute fantasy music festival, and. The only real criteria here is that you can only choose 6 acts, so you got to choose 6 really sort of top rate acts for your festival. And Gordon also wants us to give a bit of detail as well about where the venue is for the festival, how much it would cost to get in, and any other details you like to give, and also to invite a couple of people to the festival. So I've seen quite a few of the videos so far, and there've been some pretty good ones. One or two, obviously, bands that I'm not really particularly interested in, but we've all got different musical tastes, haven't we? But one or two of them, I think, yeah, they're really good. I'd really love to be there. Two in particular, I'll give a shout out to. There's Berwickshire Mike and his Black Leather Lagoon Festival. Brilliant name. And Midge's Vinyl Gems. And his festival is called Midgestock, and it'll be held in his own back garden. And I'd really love to go to both of those. Both got sort of great acts on. So if you want to know what they are, obviously you need to go and watch Midge's and Mike's videos. But I think this is a lot of fun. So what I've decided to do is to do a punk festival, and I was thinking back to the late 70s. In fact, it's 1979 and 1980. There were 2 punk festivals in successive years in Leeds, and more post-punk really, I suppose. And they called Futurama, and they were held at the Queen's Hall in Leeds. And the Queen's Hall was not a nice venue really, but it was the biggest venue that Leeds had at the time. It was an old tram shed, and when the trams finally, left the roads of Leeds, instead of knocking it down, they thought, yeah, let's make this into a concert and events venue, and they did. And it kind of served a purpose, I suppose, but the venue wasn't great. There were concrete pillars everywhere, so the view could be sort of quite restricted. But, it was all we had. It was the only large sort of venue that Leeds had at the time. And the second largest, I suppose, would be the refectory at Leeds University, where The Who played live at Leeds. And that's, quite honestly, it's not a massive venue at all. So, anyway, I digress. So, another place where there have been some big festivals, more sort of like big acts sort of playing in the open air rather than sort of full on sort of festival with multiple acts. There's been Roundhay Park in Leeds, and Roundhay Park is just about 20-minute walk from me up the road, and they've been putting on these gigs since the early 80s. The first one was the Rolling Stones, I think in 1982. And they've had Bruce Springsteen there, Madonna's played there, Michael Jackson played there, U2 played there, Genesis played there, unfortunately during their touring of Invisible Touch, which is not a great album, unfortunately. And the venue is pretty good, for an outside venue, because there's this area of Leeds Roundhay Park that it's a natural bowl. So it's ideal for festivals. And I think there's one. There's one this summer in July, I think, and I believe Lewis Capaldi is headlining. And again, I'm not really interested. I've not been to any of these festivals. Quite honestly, none of them really interested me. Not the sort of music that I was particularly into. But I thought as a venue, it would be, a great place for a festival. So my festival will be held at Roundhay Park in Leeds. And it's a punk festival. And I've invited 6 acts. And 5 of them are from the UK, and 1 is from elsewhere, and I'll get to them later on. But the thing that sort of unites them all is that, firstly, I absolutely love all of these bands, and secondly, they were actually about in 1977. So during the first wave of British punk, these bands were active. They were touring. You could go and see them. So right, who have I chosen? So first on the bill are X-Ray Specs. And X-Ray Specs released just the one album until I think 1995 when they released a second one. But as X-Ray Specs, the original lineup, there's just this one album. And as you can see, it's Germ-Free Adolescence. Absolutely brilliant album. And so tracks on here. There's quite a few singles on here actually. But you've got Artificial, Obsessed with You, Warrior and Wolves, which is one of my favourite X-Ray Specs songs. Let's Submerge, I Can't Do Anything, Genetic Engineering, I Live Off You, I Am a Poser, Germ-Free Adolescence, which I think was their biggest hit actually, Plastic Bag, and The Day the World Turned Dayglow, which also may have been their biggest hit. But those were the 2 that I think made it into the charts or made it highest up. So there you go. So X-Ray Specs, the brilliant sort of polystyrene, and I've chosen a single as well. And the single is Identity, and Identity is on the album as well. And yeah, so that's the first act. So they'll be kicking it off, early afternoon. You get X-Ray Specs, Polystyrene doing her stuff, and they'll be followed by another great band. So a band that were around in 1977, real sort of old school punks, still going I believe, and this is Sham 69, and this is their debut album, Tell Us the Truth. I absolutely love that cover, and there's the back there. And so it's Jimmy Percy and the boys, and you've got a live side and a studio side on this album. So on the live side, you've got We Gotta Fight, Rip Off, Ulster, George Davis is Innocent, and it turned out that he actually wasn't innocent, but there you go. They Don't Understand, and the brilliant Bullstall Breakout. And then on side 2, you've got Family Life, Hey Little Rich Boy, I'm a Man, I'm a Boy, What About the Lonely, Tell Us the Truth, It's Never Too Late, and Whose Generation. And just to let you know that all the bands are under instructions to play their early stuff, and really get into the spirit of 1977. So that's Sham 69, and again, this is I Don't Wanna, the debut single from Sham 69. There you go, and I'll show you this on Step Forward Records before they went to someone else. I can't remember what label they went to. Anyway, it's not important, is it? So that's the second act, and the third act, one of my all-time favourite punk bands, and led by one of my all-time favourite punks, and that's the great Penetration, led by Pauline Murray, and this again is debut album. It's Moving Targets, and there you go. That's the stuff on here, and yeah, I mean you've got Don't Dictate on here, and Movement, and Too Many Friends. Yeah, Free Money. That's a good one. Nostalgia, and yeah, Penetration. Fantastic, fantastic band. Saw them a few times in Leeds. I won't show the inner because I thought it was interesting, and it isn't. But there you go. And this is their debut single, and it's Don't Dictate. And there you go. And there's the band on the back. So yeah, that's the third act. So we're halfway through the festival, and three brilliant British punk acts, in my opinion. Right, but the fourth act have been brought in from overseas, from Australia, and if you know what I like, it won't be any surprise to anybody that the band from Australia are the Incredible Saints, and this is their debut album, I'm Stranded. Absolutely brilliant. So you've got Chris Bailey on the vocals here, Ed Cooper on guitar, Kim Bradshaw, and Ivor Hay on the drums. And yeah, this is a fantastic album, as is their second album, Eternally Yours, and the third album's not bad either. So you got I'm Stranded, One Way Street, Wild About You, what else? No Time, Story of Love, Demolition Girl, Nights in Venice, Messing with the Kids. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that's the Mighty Saints from Australia. And again, the single I'm going to show you is one of my all-time favourite punk singles, and that's This Perfect Day. And This Perfect Day is on their second album. So we're nearly there. So, if you're going to have a sort of 1977 sort of punk revival festival, you really have to invite these guys, don't you? So it's the Sex Pistols, and obviously they're one and only brilliant debut album. And yeah, they have to be there, because really, the whole sort of punk thing sort of really gravitated around Sex Pistols. They're a band that everybody knew. They were notorious, let's say. But there you go. So that's the as you can see, those are the tracks on the album that, of course, you'll all know. But the Sex Pistols have to be there, and obviously it will be the original lineup, and Johnny will be there snarling at the crowd, and it will be absolutely brilliant. So there you go. And the single, I've gone for God Save the Queen, and Did You Know Wrong is a B-side of this. So that's that. So who are going to headline? Who have I got to headline? Even just slightly above the Sex Pistols. Well, it's these guys, the guys that kicked off punk in the UK, at least on vinyl. With their single in 1976. They just beat the Sex Pistols to it, and New Rose, the first UK punk single, and this is Damn Damn Damned, and this is the debut from this brilliant band, and I'll show you the And there you go. There's it's on Stiff Records, and in fact, it was the first album to be released by Stiff Records, and it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, you've got what's on here. Neat, 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 brilliant track. Fan Club, I Fall, Born to Kill, Stab Your Back, Feel the Pain. Then kicking off side 2, you've got their debut single, the debut punk single in the UK, New Rose, Fish, See Her Tonight, So Messed Up, and I Feel Alright. So yeah, this is a fantastic album, one of my favourite punk albums of all time. And of course, got to show a single, and the single I'm going to show is New Rose. As I say, the first UK punk single. And what will happen is that the band will do their set, and then at the very end, everybody will come back on stage to do an encore, and the great sort of assembled bands will do a one-off version of New Rose. So that's it. So yeah, I've got to tell you what the festival's going to be called as well. I nearly forgot. So, as I say, back in 1979 and 1980, there were 2 festivals, post-punk festivals called Futurama, and I was thinking, well, how about something like Retrorama? But that doesn't really do it for me. So instead, I've decided that it's going to be at Roundhay Park in Leeds, so it's going to be called Pogo In The Park. So if you want to Pogo In The Park, then come along to Roundhay Park in Leeds at a date still to be organised, and yeah, it'll be a great day out, and I'm going to make it a free festival. I think everybody deserves to see these bands, and I'll invite a couple of people though who I think will really appreciate this, probably more than most in the vinyl community. And they'll get a very sort of special VIP day. They'll get a backstage pass, and those 2 people are my mate Nick's Vinyl Butty, and another mate of mine, which is Mike, Berwickshire Mike, up there in the northeast of England. So the weather will be absolutely brilliant, as it is in Leeds today, and that's that. So all I've got to say is I'll leave the link to Gordon's video for his competition if you want to have a go. And, best of luck, Gordon, getting to 500 subs. And just one final thing, Gordon. Now, I won your last contest, didn't I? And you sent me a whole load of sweets, and my teeth are still recovering from that experience. But they're very nice, and much appreciated. So, if I was to win next, this competition, then just discard that, pull somebody else's name out instead. So there you go. That's it. So that's my festival, and until next time, I'll see you. So see ya. Bye.